It all begins with you at Rain Rock Casino.
NBC 5 News at 5 starts now.
5,000 doses of the new COVID-19 vaccines are going out across the state, many of those right here in Southern Oregon. Thank you for choosing NBC 5 News at 5. I'm Anna Weeks. Of those getting vaccinated, hundreds of Rogue Valley veterans are being identified to get the vaccine in the coming weeks. That's our top story tonight at 5. The White City VA Rehabilitation Center and Clinics, also known as SOURCE, spent last week distributing the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to on-campus employees and patients. VA officials say the process has been smooth. Today, they expect to vaccinate another 100 people on site. It's all part of the first phase in a plan to bring the vaccine to high-risk veterans across the region. In the first day of distribution, the facility anticipated only giving 20 people the vaccine. Instead, it gave 90 people their first round.
Received a UPS tracking number this morning for an additional 200, and we anticipate that to arrive on station tomorrow. So really excited, and that is our hope and expectation that we will receive weekly shipments.
They hope to receive weekly vaccine shipments to cover the volume of veterans who want it. After vaccinating on-site people, the facility is shifting to vaccinating high-risk veterans. Currently, officials have identified 680 veterans in the Rogue Valley who fall under that category. As for the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, Oregon Health Authority Director Patrick Allen says it's going according to schedule. Allen says about 5,000 doses are being distributed per day, a number he expects to increase for the next several days. Also a factor, he says, is translating the message of a COVID vaccine, both literally and culturally, to diverse communities. That includes who will be the messengers or voices people need to hear from.
Sadly, we have communities that, whether it's Native Americans' experiences, African Americans have experience with their family not that long ago being subject to medical experiments and not really being able to find the healthcare establishment trustworthy.
Right now, Allen says the state is in phase 1A. That includes vaccinating frontline healthcare workers, first responders, long-term care facilities, and other people in congregate settings. Education employees will go next. That's not just teachers, but bus drivers, nutrition workers, aides, and more. Tonight on NBC 5 News at 6, hear from Allen in this exclusive interview and what he says about the new, potential, more contagious COVID-19 variant. Here's a look at the latest coronavirus numbers around the region. Jackson County reports 36 new cases. The state is reporting for Josephine County, stating 15 new cases today. Klamath County reports 31. Douglas reports 6. In Coos, 26 more cases were reported by the Oregon Health Authority. And in Lake, 4 more cases. Statewide in Oregon, there are now 111,227. 16 more lives were lost, bringing the number of deaths to 1,449. The Oregon Department of Corrections says a man died at the Oregon State Penitentiary after testing positive for COVID-19. They have not released his name, but say he was between 55 and 65 years old. OSP has been notified, and a medical examiner will determine the cause of his death. This is the 21st person in custody to die after testing positive for COVID-19. COVID-19 risk levels are dropping in Southern Oregon. Today, Governor Kate Brown announced 5 counties, including Coos and Douglas, have improved from extreme to high risk. The governor's office says high risk is the first level in which some businesses and facilities can resume offering indoor services with health and safety measures and capacity limits in place. 24 counties still remain in extreme, with 5 in high, 0 in moderate, and 7 at lower risk. The move takes effect January 1st through the 14th. Another $100,000 may soon be granted to small businesses in Josephine County, and tomorrow's the last day to apply. The grants passed in Josephine County Chamber of Commerce says a second round of funds are expected to be approved soon. It will go to local businesses that didn't get enough money the first time around and are still struggling. We're told the funds will be released before the end of the year. Those who are approved for the grant could receive up to $2,500. Entertainment venues are just one of the many places hit hard by the pandemic. NBC5's Mariah Mills spoke with local venues to see what they're doing to stay open even without a live audience. She's live in studio with more information. Mariah?
Anna, it's the era of going virtual. The Ashland Independent Film Festival and Randall Theater say dedicated fans have kept their performances and films going through the internet. AIFF says their 2020 festival exceeded viewership over the past year despite going virtual. But as the pandemic drags on, it says revenues are still down. It says this is because one ticket purchased could mean a whole household of viewers.
Just like our restaurants and our local retail businesses, if we don't try hard to support them during this pandemic, they won't be there for us at the other side.
To purchase tickets or view upcoming films or performances, visit KOBI-5.com for more information. Tonight on NBC5 News at 6, we'll have more about each venue's efforts to bring entertainment to people safely and in the comfort of their own homes. Live in studio, Mariah Mills, NBC5 News.
Thank you, Mariah. Right now, a Coos Bay store is cleaning up after a window shattered during a 5.7 magnitude earthquake. It struck last night off the coast. The U.S. Geographical Survey reported the earthquake was about 125 miles west of Bandon. It happened just after 11 o'clock last night. When the owner for Marshfield Mercantile came into work this morning, he found a window shattered. Surveillance video caught when it broke during the quake.
The window is temporarily fixed. You can see it's boarded up behind me here. Contractor friend of mine sent his crew down right away to board it up, and then the glass company has been here to measure and will replace the glass.
The quake took place about 6 miles underground. There's been at least one aftershock. It did not prompt any tsunami warnings or watches. And with that, we're switching gears to weather. NBC5 Chief Meteorologist Matt Jordan is here with the first look at the forecast. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, and I was actually working at the time that we saw that earthquake. Just after about 11 p.m. last night, the earthquake, 5.7 magnitude. It's about in the medium range when it comes to earthquakes. Usually you need a stronger earthquake to see that potential of tsunamis, but just to be clear, it doesn't actually take an earthquake for a tsunami. One of the biggest tsunamis ever recorded back in the 50s in Alaska was because of a landslide, just so everybody knows that. Even a smaller earthquake causing a landslide can cause tsunamis, one of the largest ever. For us, it looks like things are calming down, but the Earth is always full of surprises, and we do live on the Pacific Rim, so that potential for earthquakes is always out there. And we also, in December, tend to see the potential for wintry storms, and with those storms, a few of them on the way. Now, today, mostly a calm day, and a good part of tomorrow, but late Wednesday into Thursday, things are starting to get pretty active. High wind warning. Winds out of the southwest 35 to 45 miles per hour with some gusts up to 75 miles per hour and a wind advisory until about Wednesday 10 p.m. On top of that, rain and snow for the mountains. And as we look out towards the coast, a high surf advisory as well. So not exactly the greatest time for traveling and not a good time to turn your back to the ocean because of the potential of sneaker waves. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Matt. Students in the Klamath City School District will return to in-person learning in less than 2 weeks. The superintendent says students will begin comprehensive distance learning on the 4th before switching to in-person learning through a hybrid model on the 11th. He says kindergarten through 8th grade will be in cohorts attending morning and afternoon school sessions. The district is still deciding the best way for high school students to start.
Just an exciting prospect, and I'm sure the parents are very appreciative as well. So we're extremely looking forward to this.
Hillier says they are working with the public health department. Social distancing and masks will still be required. Business Oregon and the Jackson County Emergency Operations Center is distributing personal protective equipment or PPE to businesses. Jackson County businesses can get free supplies like sanitizing wipes and surgical masks all next week. The PPE will come in pre-packed packages based on the size of your business. The distribution center will be set up at the Jackson County Expo from January 4th until the 8th. From 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. each day. To coordinate a pickup, call the Jackson County Expo at 541-774-8270. Months after the devastating Alameda fire destroyed thousands of homes in Jackson County, the American Red Cross is still giving money to fire victims. The Red Cross says over 500 people are still receiving assistance during what they call the transition period. The organization says it contacts those 500 people every 72 hours. The American Red Cross says it's confident in the state's ability to continue helping Oregonians.
We've been working with our partners, both government partners and the other nonprofits. And it's been a tremendous outpouring of assistance to help these folks.
The organization says it's provided over 900,000 meals and over 400,000 stays to fire victims on the West Coast. State agencies will be taking over the responsibility at the beginning of the new year. Coming up on NBC 5 News at 5, will Americans' stimulus payments remain at $600 or are they going to get much larger? Plus, a new tax is about to put the state in one of the top spots when it comes to the tax on all tobacco products. Stay with us for more NBC 5 News at 5.
Download the NBC 5 News and Weather app, sponsored by Rogue Community College. Find your path.
KOBI, NBC 5 have really been working hard to stress that people are not alone in this. What can they do if they're struggling with their mental health, be it the fires, maybe they've been displaced, family's been displaced, or just struggling with having to be socially distanced from people? What kind of message can you give?
Just like you'd ask for help when you break your arm, it's okay to ask for help when you're feeling a little down. Mental health is just like physical health. We know how to help. We know how to help make you feel better. And the concept of in this together is just central to understanding.
Around the region starting on Friday, an additional tax is going on all tobacco product sales in Oregon. While the initiative aims to reduce the number of people using cigarettes and vape, one local business says they are upset about it. Oregon Measure 108 was approved last month. The tax adds $2 per pack of 20 cigarettes, going from $1.33 to $3.33. That makes the tax on these products the 6th highest in the country, according to tobaccofreekids.org. The law was supported by Governor Kate Brown as an effort to reduce youth and adult usage of addictive tobacco products. Matt Roberts, manager of Cigar Cave in Medford, says the product he sells shouldn't fall under that category.
We're not tied into that. It's not part of the demographic that we serve. And yeah, anyone who's got, another 50 cents on a cigar tax, coming out of their pocket in these trying financial times, they're going to take that into consideration.
The measure was approved with more than 60% of the vote. A new strain of COVID-19, first identified in the UK, is now in the U.S. Colorado is reporting its first case of the COVID-19 variant that is said to be more contagious, although the symptoms are no more severe. The governor, along with the state health officials in Colorado, made the announcement today. They confirmed that a man in his 20s is isolating in Elbert County with the COVID-19 variant known as B117. The man has no history of travel to the UK. Colorado State Lab is the first in the U.S. to identify the variant through testing samples. They are working to identify other potential cases. Scientists believe the currently approved vaccines will be effective against this variant. Additional details are expected at a briefing on Wednesday, and as Amanda mentioned earlier, we'll be speaking with the Oregon Health Authority exclusively about this topic tonight on NBC 5 News at 6. As for pandemic relief, will Americans' stimulus payments remain at $600 or are they about to get much larger? Today, the U.S. Senate took up a bill passed by the House yesterday that would deliver more cash to families' pockets. On the Senate floor, Democrats tried to force Republicans to pass a bill raising COVID relief payments for Americans from $600 to $2,000. The effort blocked by Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Meanwhile, the Senate plans to vote tomorrow on overriding President Trump's veto of the critical defense spending bill. Senator Bernie Sanders is threatening to delay the veto override vote unless Leader McConnell allows a full vote on the increased stimulus payments. When we come back, NBC 5 Chief Meteorologist Matt Jordan brings us your pinpoint weather forecast. Stay with us. You're watching NBC 5 News at 5.
Since 1953, NBC 5 has adapted many times to a variety of challenges and created programs to help businesses continue to grow. That's why NBC 5 is introducing Open for Business. It's a multifaceted marketing approach that is only provided by NBC 5. We will get people into your doors, onto your website, and calling your business. Because if your business is unseen and your story untold, your product is unsold. Let's talk today.
Good evening, and thank you for choosing NBC5 News at 6. I'm Craig Smullen.
And I'm Nicole Costin.
Looking back on 2020, the reporters you trust reported the local news.
Nobody thinks the fire's going to go that far or that big.
That affected you the most.
Everything it's going to work out.
We could not have done it without the support of our loved ones.
NBC5 News presents Looking Back on 2020. Saturday night at 6:30 only on NBC5 and NBC2. Brought to you by Crater Lake Trust and the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe. Download the NBC5 News and Weather app. Wherever you are, we're in your place. Pinpoint Weather on NBC5 News is brought to you by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe.
Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We do have some showers starting to make their presence felt. A little bit of change for today and a lot of bit of change for tomorrow and Thursday because we have a whole new system on the way. Just looking outside right now, pretty cloudy skies. Now this morning we didn't have the cloud cover. Some areas like Chemult got to a whole -7 degrees. It was very cold east of the Cascades and in a lot of the West Valleys. 19 degrees reported this morning in the Ashland area, for example. We won't have that again. We didn't warm up that much, but we also won't cool down as much because of this nice little blanket we have over us, also known as cloud cover. And the clouds are here because low pressure is on the way. Now this is the main center of it. This is going to be the main gear driving all the precipitation, the higher winds, and of course the snow for the mountains into our area. The gear, it's turning out there, but it's got to tap into some moisture, which is mainly off to the north and the west of us. So with high pressure, and maybe not so much in control, but at least in the area, a lot of it going to drift further to the north. You can see some showers moving through out there, the cloud cover, eventually getting picked up by the radar. Radar doesn't go all the way out in the ocean, of course. So wind, rain, and snow, Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning. Wednesday night, not exactly a great night for travel because we are going to see a number of systems come on through. We do have a brief break. You can even see it right there, just in the pattern of weather. Wednesday, we've got rain and snow for the mountains with some high winds. Winds die down a little bit, clear out the skies later in the day Thursday, and then Friday. That is the first day of 2021, and 2021 is bringing us some more rain through the weekend. There's a few more systems even behind those, but that's all the way out towards Japan. It's all connected though. Those systems move through the ocean, gather up some moisture, and then leave it for us. And it looks a little something like this, going through Tuesday, eventually into Wednesday, and then by Wednesday afternoon, starting to see some snow up there, but it's Wednesday morning. We're not quite there just yet. Let's go into Wednesday afternoon. There we go. That's where things start to pick up. Now, in terms of snow, once again, like the last few systems, if you're in an area that's already seen snow, you got a pretty good chance of seeing more snow. Otherwise, Medford area, that's green and yellow and orange, which means some heavier rainfall possible, but probably just rain. Even Mount Ashland seeing a decent amount of snow, but below Mount Ashland into the Ashland area, probably just rain. Bit of a break for Thursday, like I said, and then we go into the weekend itself. More rain and high winds and some snow for the mountains all on the way. And because of this new system moving in, we have a high surf advisory as well as some high winds out towards the coast. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, and rainy. We'll continue with that Friday and Saturday. West Valleys, mostly cloudy tonight. Not a lot of change until tomorrow afternoon. Cloudy, rain, and snow, mainly above 4,000 feet, but it'll fluctuate a little bit. Even Northern California getting in there, seeing some snow possible. And east of the Cascades, cloudy with snow early, then mainly rain and snow throughout the day. Also some very high winds as we look east of the Cascades. Your 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, Wednesday, that's showers. Thursday, a little less, probably mostly dry. But then we go into the weekend with more rain on the way for our first weekend of 2021. Klamath Basin, rain and snow showers mixing in as we go over the next few days. Northern California, also plenty of shower activity out there, but you're further to the south, so less potential. Better chances north of the border. And out on the coast, rainy and windy really through the weekend with brief breaks on Thursday, possibly into Saturday.
Just ahead, the worsening COVID emergency in America's most populous county. One nurse now calling it a war zone. And we're on board as Boeing 737 MAX returns to regular service tonight on Nightly News.
It happened after Thanksgiving, Labor Day, and Halloween. A surge in COVID-19 cases across the country. Now, public health experts are bracing for another increase in cases through the new year and beyond. Over the last week, more than 7.1 million people were screened at TSA checkpoints, despite CDC warnings to stay home for the holidays. Now the concern has turned toward New Year's. The CDC says the safest way to celebrate is at home with people you live with or virtually with friends and family. The agency says travel and gatherings with those you don't live with can increase your chances of getting and spreading COVID-19 or the flu. It's not just the U.S. discovering this new coronavirus variant. Chilean authorities have confirmed it there as well. The health ministry announced Tuesday that the variant was found in a female passenger who returned to the country from Madrid on December 22nd. The patient spent a week in London visiting family, according to the ministry. She tested positive for COVID-19 upon arrival at Santiago's airport. A public health official said contact tracing is underway. Authorities announced Chile will require a 10-day quarantine for any international arrivals. We're updating your top stories next. Stay with us for more NBC5 News at 5.
Valley Immediate Care is proud to bring you live streaming of NBC5 News.
Thank you for choosing NBC5.
Go to KOBI5.com or the NBC5 News app and press the live stream button. Live streaming of NBC5 News sponsored by Valley Immediate Care.
With exclusive reporting from Southern Oregon and Northern California, the nation, and around the world, NBC News and NBC5 News uncover the essential stories you need to know about.
Oh my gosh.
Wherever you are, we are in your place.
NBC Nightly News and NBC5 News is brought to you by Black, Chapman, Peterson, and Stevens, injury attorneys, offering free consultations and meetings at your home with video conferencing.
So we know 2020 really has been a tumultuous year for so many people.
We have seen many people who have been affected by both the COVID and the fires with respect to having growing anxiety. What we've also seen on the positive side is a real coming together. The antidote for the desperation that drives people to suicide is hope. We've seen a lot to be hopeful for. I mean, look, people are reaching out to neighbors to check on them. People are checking in with family more than they used to.
Recapping your top local stories tonight, 5,000 doses of the new COVID-19 vaccines are going out across the state every day. Of those getting vaccinated, hundreds of Rogue Valley veterans are being identified to get the vaccine in the coming weeks. The White City VA Rehabilitation Center and Clinics, also known as SOURCE, spent last week distributing the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to on-campus employees and patients. After vaccinating on-staff people, the facility is shifting to vaccinating high-risk veterans. Currently, officials have identified 680 veterans in the Rogue Valley who fall under that category. COVID-19 risk levels are dropping in Southern Oregon. Today, the governor announced 5 counties, including Coos and Douglas, have improved from extreme to high risk. The governor's office says high risk is the first level in which some businesses and facilities can resume offering indoor services with health and safety measures and capacity limits in place. 24 counties still remain in extreme, with 5 in high, 0 in moderate, and 7 at low risk. The move takes effect January 1st through the 14th. Students in the Klamath City School District will return to in-person learning in less than 2 weeks. The superintendent says students will begin comprehensive distance learning on the 4th before switching to the in-person learning through a hybrid model on the 11th. He says kindergarten through 8th grade will be in cohorts, attending morning and afternoon sessions. Thank you so much for watching NBC Nightly News. Lester Holt is up next.